I'm gonna talk about like that ballet.
Go for it.
Because it
oh my God,
involves
yes.
everybody.
I love this story. Also, Rob, are you good on time? How are you doing?
Yeah, I think so. What does it say is left on the battery there?
There's one little boy.
Okay.
And then there's 53 minutes.
Oh, okay. So we.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, good. Cool. Go team.
Okay, so I decided that my capstone. I'm like out of the shot. I'm sorry.
You guys are slowly.
I do that. Like
we've been drifting apart over the years.
Yeah. The next Horror Stories podcast is both of you telling your opposite sides.
You just have to like do the cut
right.
Back and forth cuts. Okay, so for my capstone, I decided that I was going to adapt not the whole thing, just a section of The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde into a ballet, like silent picture-esque dance on film entity. And I have been planning this capstone at the point in this time from the April the year before, so April of like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been like trying to pull anything I could together, like dancer. Oh, here's another thing too. I'm not trying to brag or anything, or be as pitiful as I actually am. But I actually end up starring in most of my films because actors just drop out on me like no other. So that's part of this. So I had over the.
Don't worry about that. That's my next story.
That's You're like that's my next one.
So over the course of this ballet, I went through 4 dancers. So I eventually had to just be Dorian Gray myself, and I had to beg one of the hip hop dancers at the studio that I go to be the other ballet dancer. Because I knew she would do it.
Use those resources.
True.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Everything at your disposal.
Everything, yeah.
So I get, so I've actually, like, well, I had went through a few dancers, and when they would agree to it, and then what would happen is they'd find out that it was, like, a Victorian Gothic novel, and then, like, that's not gonna work for my image. Also, quick side story.
I gotta play 26 or I can't do it.
I gotta play 26, girl.
Also, I'm gonna tell a quick story about that. So the year prior, I was trying to do a similar thing, but with like a Frankenstein ballet. Every single dancer, like, I'm not gonna be in a Frankenstein ballet. That doesn't go with my image. Cut to May when the Royal Ballet in London says, all right, this season we're doing Frankenstein. And all of a sudden it's fine to do Frankenstein the ballet to these people, by the way. But they still refuse to be in my Dorian Gray ballet.
Can you take my credit off?
Yes. True. So I'm like trying to so I spent my entire summer trying to get everything together, trying to get props, talking to literally everybody that I could.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody we have in common from the same festival actually agreed to do it, because I was actually going to, I gave her the title role initially. She was going to be Dorian. So I'm like, okay, so I have a really good dancer, because she is a good dancer. I have a really good dance.
Oh my God, I'm gonna tell a quick story too.
Seizure.
This was after the film went. There was another dancer that was involved with this, and she like reached out to me to do a project like after this, right? And I was like, oh yeah, you want to do a dance film? That's cool. I just worked on Felicity's. She goes, that wasn't a dance film. And I was like, okay, I'm not working with you anymore.
Oh, side note, by the way, we're done.
Okay, so I don't need this attitude in my life. But anyway.
Well, yeah, she hates me, and I'll get into why
Love that.
she hates me too. So I think I have everything set up. I have costumes, I have props, I have dancers, because I also had another dancer from the studio who did agree to it. But I made the mistake of getting this other dancer because she's known to randomly retire. I'm like, you're 20 years old.
Me too.
You're 20 years old. Why are you retiring from ballet all of a sudden? Well, I'm going to get married. That marriage never happened, by the way. So he backed out real fast.
I feel like I was in Victorian England for a second.
True. Well, if that'd be the case, then she's just unmarriable now. She's just shrew. I'm sorry.
I hear she's also having a baby out of wedlock.
True. Well, it was because she was canoodling with the butler.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Wow, bringing it all around.
Okay, that's not what happened. But anyway. So I'm like, okay, I have everything ready. This is December. I want to film in December over the break.
Mm-hmm.
I get the dance studio to agree to use the space, the same space that we used. And what's her face retires. Suddenly the other two are unavailable.
Son of a bitch.
sketch, like, well, you can always get this person. I'm like, this person's 16. I'm not getting their parents involved. I don't want parents involved at all.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this game. I
I'm playing a game.
I said, I'm sorry, I only want to work with people who are 18 and over, so that way parents cannot try to interfere. She goes, fair enough. Yeah, and then she actually proceeds to get, like, other dancers. See, I actually had help with this one. She proceeded to get other dancers who also dropped out in January.
I'm laughing, but this is so sad.
Oh, this is the first section. I haven't even gotten to the part where what's-his-face tried to steal my movie from me. So, yes.
You're gonna love this one too, Rob.
Yes,
you just worked with this person.
You are. I apologize, but I don't feel so uncomfortable, just so you know.
No, yeah,
it's not my project.
I'm
sorry.
Turned out good.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, the girlfriend... Okay, so I actually was told by someone we all know that perhaps if I paid them, they would work on the film, which is partially why you got paid.
I'm kind of a little annoyed now.
I was gonna pay to consult because I needed him to... Because I needed Dora and Gray to be on screen together, so that's why I needed him. So I was gonna pay him, Erynn, and then, like, the hip-hop dancer that I ultimately got to work on it. I decided, okay, I can pay everyone, so I set up a budget. Also, can I just say Robert? Can I talk?
Yeah, I'll
There
bleep
were
it
many
out.
of us.
I'll bleep it out.
No, Robert Von
There were a lot of,
Dassenowski.
oh, yeah,
Okay.
I think Robert's good. Yeah, Robert's
So,
good. We love Robert Von
Robert Von
Dassenowski.
Dassenowski, his mother, like, owned a production company. He actually gave me $600 from her production company to help me pay to get original music for this. So that was set aside for just the music. So out of my own personal pocket, I paid everybody $75 each. So the person who did my original music actually was mad that they contributed $30 because they felt that they did more because they bought the snacks for set, but he agreed to do that beforehand, even though I was going to pay for that too.
I totally bought your film with those snacks.
You're like, it wouldn't have happened without me.
Getting my producer credit, I think you forget all the things you promised me.
In our contract.
So...
Wow.
So back, we'll finish the dancer thing first and then we'll get to the music. So the dancer thing is, it kept getting put off. I'm like, well, can we film this month? Can we film that month? And, like, it kept getting closer and closer to the festival. And this is my capstone. So it needs to be in the festival.
Yeah.
And so finally, I just said, I'm going to ask this hip-hop dancer to take your part. I was more professional than this, but this is the bottom line.
Yeah, no, I remember you like, consulted me about it.
Also,
Wait,
she tried to pull...
I heard a little pup
Okay.
scratching.
I guess I'm going to drink. They also tried to pull a power move. The dancer and then the dancer who's ultimately in it, nowhere near the same body shape. So I was going to have to buy another costume anyway. They refused to give me back the costume until the night we started filming. And then they also gave it to me, and it was full of white animal hair, too.
And you're like...
Well, thanks, but I don't need it anymore.
You're like, how did this happen?
I just threw it in the trash in front of him. I did not.
I trashed it.
That would have actually been great. Like, well, thank you. So, bottom line, I ultimately played the title role. I got a hip-hop dancer to play the other ballet role because she and I have worked on projects for years at this point. And I was just really so grateful at the time.
And I rolled up to do camera, and Rob's tripod dolly helped with all the cinematography.
Yeah, true.
Yay!
So, alright, going back to the original music.
That's what I borrowed it for.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
So going back to the $600 that I spent on music, that Dassenowski technically spent on music.
Right.
So this person was like, okay, so I want you to tell me exactly what you want, give me the script, and I gave a script, I worked with him. We actually, like, recorded, like, in an actual studio, we actually got, like, musicians, and all the musicians got paid, by the way, that's what the $600 was for. So did the recording studio guy who gave it to us really cheap, thank the Lord. Also, really quick side note, so that person introduced me as the director, by the way. So while we're all recording the music and I'm getting behind the scenes, the two people who are sitting outside doing the recording, make sure all the volumes are like where they should be. He's like, who's even directing this? What is this for? And I'm sitting there, by the way.
And you're like...
and so I actually didn't say anything because I'm like, you know what, I was introduced as that person. They clearly were paying attention. It's not worth my time.
It's not gonna register anymore.
Not playing your games.
So this person also like wanted me to know. He goes, I own this music, just so that way you know. I said, technically Dostanowski owns this music.
Yeah.
He goes, well, that's part of our unwritten contract is that I always own the music.
God damn it, they're gonna get you one way or the other.
Why are all these indie filmmakers like, contract?
Well, because they're trying to make it seem as professional as possible in a way, I guess.
I'm like, oh my god. Yeah.
So, like, I said, you take that up with Dostanowski. And so, whatever, it doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter. Because when we're having this fight, he tried to, like, hit me with a door and shove me into a door. And...
I did not know this.
I let Dostanowski know that. He said he'd take care of it, so I just let him take care of it.
He took care of it. He broke both his kneecaps.
That's why nobody heard from him for a while.
What do you fucking think this fucking program is?
You don't be pushing my students into
what
doors,
the
alright?
True. So I edit the whole thing, have the music, sync it all. Everything's good, right? It took me like 2 days to edit. We are fantastic. I'm feeling great. All of a sudden, I get a call, because I sent it to him so that way he could see it. I get a call going, the music isn't good enough, and so we want to, like, up the quality of music, but it's going to take us until, like, right before you have to turn it in.
And we're going to need another $600.
We're going to need another $600. And I'll take care of the snares.
Yeah.
And just know don't think for a second that that's not the most important thing.
By the way, he also had a week to do this, so I said, okay, you can up the quality, but I'm still turning it in. You need to give it to me by this date.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I'll just see about the schedules. Well, no, you're not.
You're like, no.
I actually went to Erynn about this, and Dostanowski, so that way I had evidence that this was going on.
I've also straight up never been able, because actually two people were trying to do film snatchings that semester.
They're fun.
Yeah, this is also the same year as the film festival from hell. So yeah, I've never been ready to fight someone more in my entire fucking life. I was like, tell to call me. Tell to take up all these questions with me.
The person whose girlfriend was supposed to be originally in it, the one who, like, brought up the money thing. Okay, he was trying to, like, console me in Robert's office going, we'll just find another, like, musician to do your music for you. And I'm just like, Dostanowski spent $600 on this. We are not playing this game.
You don't understand!
Like, I'm not playing this game.
Yeah, literally. Oh my god.
So crazy.
And so, like, I just told him I'm turning it in. The music is as is. And he goes, well, this is my project too. Actually, no, it's not. I paid for everything.
Sometimes you gotta pull that card, you know? Like, as director, you're technically
he actually wanted to take it to small claims court.
Well, and when you get hired to do work on someone else's project, you go into it with that understanding that you were working on someone else's project. You got paid for this. What you do for them is theirs.
Yeah.
And they have the final say on that.
100%.
That's how that works.
He also wanted to take it to small claims court. Dostanowski stepped in. That never happened. That never even came close to happening at all. So...
What?
Yeah,
what?
So I won best performance, and I got my revenge, and that's the end of that. No contribution.
Revenge is a dish best served.
Okay, the reason why I say that we got revenge.
My little sister and I have been sending back this reaction picture, and it's like the cover of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and it says, Harry Potter, the audacity of this bitch, and that's how I feel about this. I'm like, what?
By the way, because the girlfriend backed out, the boyfriend backed out, so they actually never got paid for any of that.
Shut your own cells right in the face.
Straight up, right?
Well, the thing is, like, I sent her a thank you note, but because he still came on set, I was still intending to pay him, but he won't take money from me. And actually, like, said it similar to that fashion. I won't take money.
But you're the one who said that we should. So if you could please clarify. I just really don't understand.
So, like, you and the dancer were the only people who technically got paid on that set.
I remember I didn't even know, and you handed me a thank you card, and I opened it that night, and I was like, is this a fucking real check? What is going on?
And the reason why I did checks is, like, I needed paper trails because I knew that, like, Joe... Yes,
you know, oh my god!
Joe, because that Joe was going to try to pull something, so I'm like, I'm paying everybody in checks because like he's trying to pull a small claims court, but I actually paid everyone in checks with the musicians anyway, so it's like I knew that I was gonna have the records that I paid for everything. Plus, I knew Dawson asked me to step in because technically it was his mother's company, so I have like almost like a.
Also, he just has good morals.
True, true.
So, Rob.
Yeah.
Your turn.
The thing that really makes me feel bad is that. Like, you all have had really horrible experiences working with people that I have since worked with, and I don't have those stories.
Well, I mean, that's
really
the point.
Bad.
Hopefully they've learned from their situations with us, and now they're better people.
But still, I feel bad that you had those experiences.
Okay.
And, you know, I think that the last thing I'm going to talk about was, and I understand, we are in the indie game, and we don't have budgets. A lot of times we can't pay people.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos to you for being able to do that.
Yeah.
And when you can't pay people, we know that scheduling can be very difficult.
Yeah.
And sometimes those commitments can fall through because of other things that come up.
Yeah, because honestly,
we understand that.
There's a huge problem. I think this is probably true even professionally, you know. You can't expect everyone to make your project their number one priority in their life.
Exactly.
And it's an issue if you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that expectation would be horrible. Like you said, that would be really wrong of you to do. So I get it. And you know, I've heard lots of horror stories from people working in the indie scene locally about having actors being like, yeah, let's do this, and then just flaking last minute, not showing up. And I had, and people would tell me this, and they're like, do you have this problem? I'm like, no, I haven't really had this issue. And again, I felt really privileged and lucky to have that. And then I had it happen.
And it was just maybe
it was just my turn finally. And like the first time that happened, like for the 14ers, the first 14ers that year, we did a silent comedy. It was our first appearance of the Tramp, who has now since shown up again in Socks. And for that film, I was not supposed to be that character. I was not supposed to have to do anything in front of the camera. I was just going to be behind the camera. Katie was going to help out behind the camera. That was our crew, to keep it very small for our team and get it done in the 14 days that we had.
Yeah.
When we got everything ready, we only had 2 days to shoot this. We ended up only having 1 day really when it all came down to everybody's schedule.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, we're going to shoot this whole fucking film, on this one Saturday. And the day before, one of the actors who was supposed to play the thief had to drop out. And I'm like, well, fuck. Okay, that sucks.
Son of a bitch.
The day of, the main actor who was supposed to play the Tramp gets into a car accident on his way to the film. Felt horrible. Felt like that was my fault. Because I was like,
God.
He wouldn't have been coming this way if it wasn't for me, and I got into an accident. So I felt really bad. And so I ended up, and then the actress who we had talked to about being in the film as well, just stopped communicating. And no responses, no emails back and forth. So the day of the shoot, the only two people who show up are me and my AD, Katie, and my co-captain, Katie, and we were just like, fuck. And so I had to do the thief and the Tramp, and she had to be the other character, and we just had to shoot like when I was on camera, she was behind it.
Yeah.
Same, vice versa. And then when both of us were on camera, it was a tripod, and we just had to hope no one walked through and stole our shit and ran off with it. And so it was crazy because we're shooting in Manitou. And that's why I had to, now that I brought the Tramp back, I had to do that part again.
Yeah,
I'm like, now I've got to do this because I committed to that character. And so those kinds of things can have, long-lasting impacts.
Yeah,
they can also have long-lasting impacts in the way that I will never work with fucking people again who have fucked me over. And there are people who have fucked me over in a very specific way. I was working on my very first feature film that I got a grant from UCCS to do. Erynn was one of my ADs on that project. There was a lot of people involved. We had an amazing cast put together in my mind. Going into it, we had our table reads. Everything was perfect. The actor who I cast in one of the main leads, we have 4 stories being told in the film. And one of the actors that I cast because when he came in for the audition, motherfucker, did the shit I was seeing in my head. He read it just like I had it in my head. He moved it, he reached for his face at the point when I was like, he should totally touch his face there. I mean, he, nailed this part. He knew the character. I was like, this is going to be awesome.
Oof.
Couple days before, we have a table read, and he's like, comes to me, he's like, so who's gonna shoot this? Who do you have, mind to shoot this? And I was telling him, well, keep, things in, the way we need to, and keep scheduling from being an absolute fucking nightmare. I'm gonna be doing the shooting. I'm gonna have my ADs helping. We pretty much got this. He's like, oh, I've got a friend. He's trying to do this, and he's trying to get his name out there, so he's willing to do projects and everything. I'm like, I really appreciate it.
I love that sigh, Felicity.
Right? No, yeah,
I know it's coming.
And I was like, dude, I really appreciate that, but we can't really pay anyone to be doing those kinds of things, and right now I think it's just gonna be best, and with the integrity of the project and the way that I've written the project, if we just visualize it ourselves.
Yeah. And
he dropped out the next day because we wouldn't hire his friend to be
the
part
next
of the
day,
project.
Might I add, in the weirdest way.
And and also the next day was 2 days before we were supposed to start shooting.
Yeah.
Like it was, or maybe I'm exaggerating. I think we had like a week before we were supposed
That's
to start shooting.
That's still not a lot
the
of
film.
time with features.
Right. Yes, exactly. Because we had booked the space that we were supposed to shoot in and everything, and luckily we were able to fall back on one of the actors who was like second choice and like really, was close, in the running for the part, and he was able to do it. But again, to just be like, here's a quick message from me, not going to be able to do the project, sorry, that kind of thing, just like, bye. It's just like, wow.
Well, after like literally being so committed the day before, like,
right?
You know what I mean? It was just really weird.
Just being so committed, you want to bring people onto the project and your friend, and then things have come up, and blah, blah, blah. And you could just smell the bullshit coming off the story as it's coming to you. You knew nothing that was being told was being honest.
Yeah.
And so, it was just that kind of lack of commitment, and again, I get not being totally committed to the project,
but
because
that's a different kind of lack of commitment.
That's kind of a shady kind of lack of commitment. That's where, again, if I can't get my friends onto this project too, fuck this whole thing. I'm not going to be a part of it.
Well, you were probably saved because they probably goofed off the entire time.
That's a good point.
Possibly, and again, that can happen too. It can be like a blessing in disguise, and I think that we maybe had that happen here. And again, I will never reach out and try to work with that actor again, because that's kind of shitty. I've had actors who have come to me and been like, look, I'm changing things. I'm not going to be accepting any roles that aren't leads or different things like that, because I'm trying to get a reel together. I'm trying to get an agent. I'm trying to do all this. And again, I understand all of that.
An agent wants somebody who has all of that experience put into it.
Yeah.
This is true.
Like,
well, also your agent will help you get more experience.
Yeah, also you shouldn't be the one working on your image. Your agent should be, if you're super into that thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
definitely. Exactly.
There's just so many weird things about these people.
Right, and I don't get it.
Clearly have not researched what it takes to obtain that section of
Dear
success,
Lord.
of fame, of life.
Oh my God! I hope they don't think they have to pay their agents, because that's a
scam.
They take a cut. Everybody out there, agents take a cut of what you get.
You pay them ahead of time. Fuck that. That's a red flag.
Do not do that. Get the fuck out of there. Yeah, straight up. Oof.
And that's like, I was looking at an agent locally one time and found that they don't charge their actors, but they don't charge them to rep. But what they do is, you need to, they say, well, we won't rep you until you've had so many, hours of acting classes. We provide acting classes. You can take them from us and just pay us this for these acting classes, and then we'll get you to where you need to be. And to me, that's the same kind of shitty ass scam.
Yeah.
And it sounds just a little bit. And I'm not trying to, say your business model's fucked up, and I'm not trying to throw any shade. But
actually it is.
That's a straight up business model fuck up.
It's basically the same thing as saying we're not going to rep you unless you pay us.
Yeah.
And so again, I feel like that's kind of fucked up. And one of the actors that I'm telling this story about now is working with those people and those classes, and I'm just like,
Oh my God, is he really?
Yes. No, not the actor from the other story. The actor who basically, she told me she's not going to do any more than lead parts, and I'm like, I understand, that's completely cool. I don't have any leads in this film. I only have this role. Unfortunately, I've already cast the other part. And she's like, you know what? Because we've worked together before, because we have this, I will do this, this one last non-leading role for you.
As a favor,
as a favor, and I was very appreciative. I was like, awesome, that's great, that's perfect. And then again, a couple days before we were supposed to start shooting, that was the one that was actually 2 days before we were supposed to shoot. And she's like, sorry, can't do it. I vowed that would probably be the last time that I worked with her, and but I've reached out to her again, and we've mended some business. She's supposed to be working on your episode of the Roommate Wanted, so hopefully that's going to work out, even though some of the actors have been a little less than forthcoming with schedules and
it's just
responses.
People I from a very early age.
All the parts. I'm letting you know.
Yeah, that's a nice
I'm
idea.
casting myself as all the parts.
Right.
Well, just from a very early age, I started studying. When I knew I wanted to do this, I started studying success and studying what it took and all that stuff. And I'm like 10 plus years into that, and like, if you want to make this work, people's egos are just so much. Like, it's just
and again,
fucking
it can't
ridiculous.
be about ego.
Yeah.
That film is such a collaborative art form that you need to have lots of people helping to create what you're trying to do.
And it doesn't take away from you. It enhances,
It does. They enhance. The team you work with is nothing but an enhancement.
Yeah.
It's never anybody who's there to steal your thunder. They're there to prop you up and lift you up and to make your art better.
Oh my God.
Perhaps then I should be forced to write a paper on why we have credits at the end of a film.
So my next horror story.
Stealing the program.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. But so my next story.
What was even funny too is he actually like grabbed her hands and held them too.
I didn't see
Like
that.
yeah, he actually, because she is like doing this in his face, like doing this, and he grabs her hands and he just like holds them like to the side
It's
like
just
this.
so much. I'm like, chill, dude.
Yeah.
You're a good filmmaker. What is it? So
Has she made anything since then?
no, she's been in films. Also, like I don't know when with women filmmakers they got the attitude that only one woman can succeed.
Because historically,
yeah, Hollywood's only made room
It's
for one
true.
woman per year to actually
And they're
make
like,
a film.
Be
When-
successful.
when you
film.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have your 1 year, your one film, you're out.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm
And
like,
you better look 26, goddammit.
Yeah.
you better look 26 or else. But yeah. So my last horror story, it's not my last horror story, let me tell you, I got a fucking stack. I got a whole bird book. But it's about my first, my Curse of the Assistant Directors, and I'm going to focus it in on my first feature film, which, you learn a lot with your first feature film, it's a crazy time.
All films are a learning experience, but feature
Films are crazy, because so many people go into it and it's just like, oh, what, it's just like a short but bigger. No.
Well, technically it is a short but bigger.
I mean, technically, yeah, but like,
no.
I can't even verbalize the differences between the and short because it's just a whole different thing. But I had a assistant director who came on because my mentor really was like, he'd be really good, blah 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 blah. If this is your first time doing this, he did it before. Actually, he got a grant for a feature, and he did it before.
I worked on it.
Also,
just so you know.
Also, my strong suit is, I have strengths in getting projects together, and I feel very comfortable with my strengths in getting projects together, right? Also, I don't need a man to come in and save the day for me. No more.
Well, what the fuck am I doing?
I just better go then. That was so good, literally. Oh my God. And yeah, so I'm thinking, okay, we'll have a good creative banter. I'll be able to ask him questions if I need questions. He'll be able to get some things for me. It'll be good.
He seems very approachable.
Yeah, he seems very approachable. We get to the first cast meeting and I don't know what the fuck is going on. So for my films, I always try and it's because of my background in theater that I think I do this, but I start to develop the visual look at the very least 6 weeks before I start filming a project, because I don't know. It's just what I've been kind of trained to do in the world of professional theater, and it always helps when I get to set and all that stuff. And also my strengths aren't necessarily all the production design elements, so I want to make sure to start developing that ahead of time. We have our first crew meeting. He is just offending, okay, so all my projects, I've made a very, very big point to be mindful about having, women in these important roles and women in roles of heads of department and all that type of stuff.
It's not hard to make room for people.
Oh my God, 100%. It's actually really easy if you try. So he just straight up is like, oh, I'll do that because I'm a man and I'm gonna do a great job doing that, or like you know I don't know if you should do that. You're a woman, like blah 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 blah.
It takes a penis to be able to do that.
100%. I was like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, and so like literally, yes. Oh my god, please tell what it was like from your perspective because you were there.
I was there because I was her art director.
You were you were
art
director. Yeah,
for this one.
We established ahead of time that she was an art director because she could help me set dress the area and provide props, you know, because we worked it out ahead of time.
True.
Planning.
So he was asked, would you try to obtain a car that looked 30s, 40s-ish? 1930s, 40s-ish. And his response was like, oh, because you're a woman? Exactly like that, head movement, everything I just did. And I'm like, oh.
And I have never in my life, I was like...
But like, you're the assistant director. You were asked to do a task.
I was like, what is this fucking, like, I'm a man shit, like, you know, I get a joke here and there, you know, like Stefan, for example, like, look, you know, Stefan on set, you know, we're talking about pubic hair, and he jokingly is like, what kind of movie is this, haha, because he's the only man there, like, you know, like, I get that, that's okay, you know, but being, like, Stefan wasn't like, I'm a man, I'll take care of that, little lady. Like, what the hell? And so, I have this girl on as location manager, right? And so, she starts location managing, looking for locations. He takes that as, like, a personal attack against him for some reason. And there starts to be this weird tension that starts to develop between those two specifically. I don't know why, I don't know what. We get to auditions, and if I got anything from this man, I got my best friend, one of my best friends in the entire universe, and my favorite actor, Daniel J. Thrasher, out of it. Because if I got anything, I got that, because he introduced me to him, you know, he's our mutual contact, whatever, you know, so if I got anything, I got my best friend, you know?
So you got custody in the divorce.
That's right.
So him and this other person are starting to get tense, and also this other person starts getting a little weird with me. You know, I'm all for like I said, I'm, you know, platforming other people. I have a whole, you know, co-produced anthology series that's about platforming other people. I've produced and helped countless people. I've mentored countless people through, you know, making films and how to do it and what to do. Just, you know, I'm working on my first feature right now, and you come on as the location manager. You know, I need you to kind of work on that. You know, I'm here for you. I'm here for your projects. I'm here for your films. You know, I'm in the middle of this stuff, right? And so it gets, but she's just location manager, so I'm like, whatever, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
Right.
It's fine. She's bringing up her films at the weirdest times, like you know, in the middle of production meetings. But whatever. Yes.
She also like tried to take over art direction as well, and like would corner me, and be like, "We're going to Pueblo together to look at stuff." And I'm like, I know the 1940s. I lived in it.
You lived it.
Yes.
And now that I'm 76. Yeah, and I develop a close relationship with this other person while we're developing, and like, you know, and then this guy who's in the project, and you know, one of the big things I deal with in film, you know, for you guys out there, is what kind of men aren't threatened by women in power versus what kind of men are. So I know there are men out there that don't have a problem, so I don't know what this guy's problem is. It's like he had the attitude of, I'm gonna come in and save whatever's going on here, but when he realized it didn't need saving, he suddenly lost interest, and it was super weird. Like, he was like...
Oh,
yeah, he was like...
I'm not needed.
Literally, he was like, so we need to do call sheets, and I was like, oh yeah, this is what we're gonna do for call sheets, this is what we're gonna do for this, and this is this, and he was like, oh. And I was like, hey, why are you, like, and then he'd get weird, and then he'd pull that...
that it's taken care of?
Yeah, and then he'd get weird, and then he'd pull that, like, I'm a man shit on everybody about everything else. So then, he drops the project, because he's like, oh, it's my, you know, it's my last year, blah, 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 and I'm like, okay, that's fine, don't worry about it. I gave him a thanks for the project, and a thanks for my Daniel, if you're out there, I love you.
Please don't cut that.
I'm not gonna cut that. He's so funny. I love him. I describe him as Orson Welles because he just kind of is Orson Welles. But so yeah, so then we really get into it. Where like it's coming up. Like filmmaking is literally, I want to say this meeting happened the day before filming. And like honestly, like to be real, like tension friendship wise with this other person who I put in the role of AD, who used to be location manager, starts to get weird. And I'm like, okay, but I'm a person who's very like, we're gonna keep professional separate, you know, from like whatever's going on over here, you know. So like I'm like, okay, these are different worlds. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's gonna be fine. You know, I'm working on my first feature. She has to understand that I'm working on my first feature, right? So, we're having our literal last production meeting, going over the shooting schedule, because, like, you know, my first feature film, it was a fucking scheduling nightmare. And it was all my fault. I booked 2 Airbnbs, and I was like, we'll just do really long days, and then just shoot everything. Like, poor Sean Forrest. I remember, it was literally, like midnight, and he's asleep on one of the couches in the Airbnb. I was like, Sean, we're gonna shoot your stuff in a minute. And he goes, okay, I'll just be here. Wake me up when you need me. So I'm sorry, everybody. Like, I'm trying to get better at scheduling. I think I am better at scheduling. But you know, everybody who was a part of that first project, I'm sorry. So yeah, we're going over how everything's gonna go, because we're on a tight ship. You know what I mean? We have these Airbnbs. I spent like a lot of money on Airbnbs for this, because like I don't have locations. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't have locations that I can alter to be like that time period. So we get to we were at this meeting, right? And she suddenly is like, yeah, I want to do this project on, like, you know, these 2 men, and like they're gay, but God forgives them. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And so like I kind of just realized with how she's been acting as a friend and how she's been acting on set, and I'm just gonna let her have this. And she talks about her project for a while, and I'm like, okay, this is fine. We can work on this in the next couple weeks after my first feature film is shot.
Yeah, Joe, I feel like we're talking about you a little bit here.
I feel like we're talking about you all over.
I got this origin story I want to do. We gotta do this. We gotta do this. Let's just get through this fucking project.
Let's get through this first, then we will move on. But yeah, she keeps going on about this project that I already feel is a little weird. She's going off about it at a time that is not preferable, you know? And I'm like, okay. And then, you know, she seems to get like upset with me when she's like, you know, she's like, I really want to go into production for this. I really want to start this up. I'm like, okay, you know, you can do that. And then she's like, and then I also want to do this documentary, and I have this internship, and you know, but I don't know if I want to use anyone at school, because everyone's just so unprofessional, and you know, everyone's just so unprofessional, and I want to really just, you know, I want to use my connections at my internship and see if I can turn that into a job. Yeah, right, literally, and it's like what? I'm like, okay.
You know, you're talking to someone from school
about
yeah,
also
about
it's
how
cut
we're
to
all unprofessional.
poor Rebecca. This was before Rebecca and I were friends, but she was around. She replaced me on her project and told Rebecca that she had to replace someone who was unprofessional, and she put Rebecca in that role, and then that's how kind of it was a thing.
She also like tried to pit me against Erynn too during this time, same day.
As if Felicity and I aren't gonna like be like, so this person had a weird conversation with us the other day. That happened with you? And she's like, yeah. And then we were like, it was so funny because Felicity was like, did this person tell you this? And I was like, oh my God, that person said that about you. It was like the worst like power move you could do behind the, you know. But anyway,
right.
Because she's just like, Felicity, you have a camera. You could be my cameraman, and we could do all of this just you and I together. And I'm like,
she was on top of a rooftop. She had her arm extended
Yes.
to you. There was a helicopter. You were like, what?
I had to sleep at this person's house because I had no way to get home that night.
Oof.
So I felt like I was gonna wake up murdered if I didn't agree to everything she said.
You were like,
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So that happens, and I'm like, okay. That was weird. I guess I better go fucking plan out everything and like figure that out. So we get there the first day, and we're in like a house, and I dress everything. Everything's all set. We have like a bunch of different like locations within the house that we're shooting on, and then like all the first stuff happens. We film that day. I come to find out that I bring alcohol to set dress. She facilitated the drinking of that alcohol with actors that were not participating in the filming.
In that moment.
And I was fucking pissed. And it was Charlie's friend. And you should have seen how fucking epic that argument was with Charlie. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? And then I come to find out, Kelsey is encouraging. I pulled her up with Joe. Come to find out, she's encouraging them. Also, you know, she gets to set, and you know, a big issue people have, you know, who aren't filmmakers and who haven't had a lot of experiences. Why am I not doing anything? I doing it? Why am I here? But it's just, film has a lot of downtime, you know what I mean?
Right.
And also, maybe if she was more active, that would have been great. She's just working on her own films upstairs where we're not filming. Encouraging people to drink alcohol. I'm like,
Also, one more story.
oh my god, yes, tell me about it. Because I was downstairs directing my film.
Erynn
You
had.
didn't know that was going on.
I didn't know this was happening.
So Erynn had also set dress candles in a certain area, certain way. She goes, okay, we filmed this section, but we're going to have to film in this section again, leave the candles. She cleaned them up and put them away.
Oh yeah, yeah. She just, hot ass mess.
You weren't giving her anything to do. She had to take
She had to do something.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, take
stuff that she was explicitly told not to do.
Yeah. She's like, I have to fucking take over this project because it's not gonna be good without me.
Well, if anyone was sabotaging anyone's film in any capacity in this community,
it was a wild ass time. And then she starts she starts doing weird shit like cornering people on set to act in her stuff like while we're filming, and I'm like, could you not, please?
We called action like we're halfway through the scene. Like that was 5 minutes ago. Can you get out of the set?
Straight up weirding out everyone on set. so then we finish up. I don't even remember how it was. I think we finished up location 1, and we moved on to the second. No,
she didn't finish the first location.
Yeah, she didn't finish the first location. Yeah, because halfway through the first location, she goes, so Erynn, I won't be on set tomorrow. And I was like, okay, why? Which, like, honestly, at this point, I'm like, that's fine.
Right.
I'm like, why aren't you going to be on set? And she goes, well, my grandma's birthday is tomorrow, and everybody wants me to plan it.
Yes.
Okay, but it's tomorrow, and probably should have already been planned by now.
Yeah.
Also, it's tomorrow, and you're just now telling me that your grandmother's birthday is tomorrow? I feel like you should have known this ahead of time.
I feel like, I would have loved to, but, at this point, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Literally don't be there. So she's not there for the rest of filming. During the second chunk of filming, I get all these texts from her about how I'm a bad friend and how, I'm not good at, helping people and that, I'm not helping her work on her work. So, and that, I haven't been treating her how she deserves to be treated as a friend. And she needed to tell me because, she deserved better than this. And, all this weird stuff. And I was like, well, I'm really sorry. And she was like, I don't want to be a friend anymore. And I was like, okay. I was like, that's
oh, darn.
I have to bleep out again, but I was like...
So, quick thing, since you're probably going to have to cut anyway. I didn't tell you this at the time because I didn't want to add to the stress, but she was texting me, telling me that she was going to tell you that I was totally against you and that I didn't want to be friends with you anymore. And I'm just, that's kind of why I was panicking in a wreck a little bit, was because I'm just I don't want Erynn to think I was talking about her because I wasn't.
Oh my god, not at all. Also, yeah, Felicity, you and I are also I don't have time for that. I'm trying to shoot my film.
It's like, jeez.
No, because she was mad because, I told her that, I wasn't gonna, film her film because she
all the shit.
This is a lot,
no.
yeah.
Well, why would you think I would put her above Erynn?
Right?
Oh my god, thank you. It was it's
I could have gone to the Olympics, but
Yeah.
red flag number 1 is always when everything has to be one up. So it's just yeah. And so that was the curse of the assistant directors on my
Right.
every single one fell through. I literally want you guys to do what an assistant director does. I want you to schedule, you know what I mean? I'm not asking you to do crazy shit that assistant directors don't do.
Well, it's almost like people just feel like they get that close and they're like, oh well, obviously I'm the big shit, so obviously I know what's going on here more so than you, so I got this, don't worry.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, this
right?
is so messed up.
And it's you may be the one actually making a feature, but I fucking am the real one that knows how it works. And I'm like, but yeah, so thank you all. So how do you guys feel?
Relieved. I got a lot off my chest.
My
I
God.
feel a little bit better about it.
I feel like a weight off my shoulders.
Just saying it out loud.
Yeah. Oh my
again,
God.
Nothing but love.
Nothing but love.
I would not have been able to do any of the projects that I've done were it not for all of the amazing help and all of the amazing collaboration that I have been blessed to be able to work out in this community.
Mm-hmm.
So love, nothing but love.
Also, I just, I
But
say
some of
these
y'all know
stories.
this shit is true. Y'all know how you act.
You guys fucking know. Like,
Yes.
you guys acted like this.
Yes, this ain't no mystery.
It's not like...
We ain't talking mistruths here. We're not spreading falsehoods and lies.
Yeah.
This is our experience.
This
This
is
is
what
what
happened.
we went through.
What happened? And if you don't like that, maybe you shouldn't have acted that way.
That's right. And if
but
you don't learn,
if you don't learn, we're gonna put you in the book.
there's still some room. Not a lot, but there's still some.
There's not a lot of room after this. But let me tell you,
That's right.
it's like I tell these situations as funny things that have happened to me because I'm over these situations by this point. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't have any reason to hold on to
You
them.
gotta let it go.
Yeah, 100%. And I just really hope all these people have also learned and have also moved on and are treating people better. Which, from what we've seen with Rob, that is most likely true.
Sorry.
Rob's had good experiences, that's
with
good.
some apparently people who had some rough steps to get there.
Yeah, so, that's okay. Everybody, and also, we're not perfect.
Sorry.
Also, none of us are perfect, I've said this whole time, like, that one film I made was garbage, I didn't help de-escalate the situation in my first horror story, my scheduling was a nightmare for my first feature film, so,
I think you all should speak for yourselves. I am 100% perfect.
I think you guys should, take a step back, because
Right?
I'm here because,
No.
oh my god, it was so cute. Marilyn's here, she's our de-stressor pup.
That's right.
She's been helping us through.
Couldn't have done this without
If
her.
it wasn't for Marilyn, let me tell you.
Well, and kind of the reason to do this is for the first time I actually feel like I've been heard on this.
Oh my god.
Because
I'm so glad.
In all honesty, I'm
Yeah.
just no one's ever gonna know this nightmare that was this section in my life, and now all of a sudden I'm just oh well, who cares? No one
Yes!
cares.
It doesn't have any power over you anymore when you just
Right.
let it all out, you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Oh man. But thank you guys so much. As always, you can find us on Instagram, Gentlemen Prefer Cinephiles, Facebook, Gentlemen Prefer Cinephiles, Instagram. But I want to know where they can find you.
I am, again, Felicity Child Smith on Instagram and YouTube. Both of them are Victoriana Gray. And Facebook, again, Felicity Child Smith. All's good.
Rob?
Rob E. Bowen on Instagram. What's a Budget Films. Whatsabudget.com is just our website where you can find everything that we've been doing and links to at least our YouTube page because it's also What's a Budget there. So yeah, just that's where I'm at most times online.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I will see you guys next time. Rob is actually going to be joining us again, and Felicity as well, actually, in the next coming months. So that'll be super exciting. And goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for having us.